Record. There we go. Second time lucky, so it's good.
Right.
So, hello everybody. Welcome back to the iSigma Live podcast. I'm joined this morning with Aaron Ryssemus from O'Neill Software and Annex.
Yeah.
Aaron, what the heck's going on in my brain this morning? Can you hear it in my voice as well?
Yeah,
I've been talking too much.
Ryssemus is a tough name. I actually suggested when I got married to my wife, I switched my name to O'Neill. I was like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with we stuck with Ryssemus. Yeah.
It's all good. How are you going?
Good.
And everything going good at the show so far?
It's been a great show. iSigma's done a great job. They've really picked a great hotel, a lot of energy. Well managed. It just gets better every year.
That's fantastic. Well, I was walking on the show floor last night, and I noticed like a placard, one that they put on that you're one of the nominations for one of the Impact Awards tonight. That was really interesting to see that. So I got the brochure and I was reading about it. So first of all, tell me a little bit about what you're in there for that nomination.
Well, I know we won it. I believe we won it last year for Annex, which was the first actual e-commerce. I just found out someone in Belgium has had e-commerce for like 8 years. And I'm like, I can't say. I don't think I can say I'm the first e-commerce, actual true e-commerce. But I'd say true e-commerce where it's built into your workflow and your software. That's still relevant, but yeah, Annex being the first marketplace, first e-commerce solution into the industry, was what we wanted for last year, and I think that's what they applied for this year.
It's the SOC 2 and ISO certification
for innovation.
Yeah,
that's not innovative. Everybody's getting that.
Well, tell me about it. Why did you do it? Everybody's getting it. So did you do it because everyone's getting it, or as a differentiator?
No. As well, when I came into O'Neill, you've got this incredible brand, incredible company, people who have been there for 20, 30 years. I said, improvements first, change later. We're going to go really deep on why our customers chose us in the first place. Our customers do not buy software. They don't buy barcodes. They don't buy scanners. What our customers buy is best of breed records management. They buy a commitment to themselves that this is their business and we're going to help them run it as efficiently as possible, as profitable as possible, from the moment they buy our software to the moment they exit. And so we're going to go really deep on the industry, really deep on records management, really deep on why our customers chose us in the first place. So we focused on rebuilding our product. Stratus was about 50% done when I was in after about 8 years. It was 50% done. Yeah. And so, during COVID, we just went all in on rebuilding Stratus. It's finally, after an additional 6 years, it's finally finished. But Stratus is incredibly good product. And then SOC 2 ISO, it's just there's a sweeping regulations in the industry where consumers are asking their record centers about security. Also, like right now, our country's been under attack, cyber attack. We're seeing everybody get hit with cyber attack, and so giving customers the confidence that their business is going to be as secure as possible. We've never had our cloud hit by cyber attack, but if it is, we can recover data automatically. So you just move on with your life. It just gives people a solid foundation. And when I look at AI and the technology going forward, you need a solid foundation to build your entire business around. And our software is mission critical, and it needs to be as secure as possible. So, that was one of the investments that we made when we saw the change in technology, was to double down on security. And so that wasn't just SOC 2 and ISO, that was also single sign-on, MFA. So there's a lot of that of going really deep on records management and doubling down on quality.
So you're finding, as you mentioned this, you're finding a lot of customers now are getting asked by their customers around security and compliance. That's becoming more important.
Yeah, absolutely. And it happens by industry or it happens by region. So I've really realized that compliance is cultural. The UK, there's a different culture around compliance. The US, there's a different culture around compliance. There's different value propositions in there, and there's and then what we saw the questions really coming in from the banking industry into a record center first, and then other industries. And so having kind of the bird's eye view of what questions we're getting from our customers helps us to make choices and investments on their behalf. So, it used to be someone would come and ask a record center, okay, we need all this information, 20-page questionnaire on your IT infrastructure and all that. Now, if they're in our cloud, they just give them our certifications and it's done. So we've saved 20 pages of paperwork. Yeah,
but that's a huge benefit, isn't it? For the customer who doesn't have to go through that 20 questions, which they're excruciating, and everyone's got a slightly different version of them, so you can't easily cut and paste.
Yeah, and there's a part of going deep on our customers and quality of realigning our product with our current customer. So our bread and butter will always be the independent, the owner operator, but we do anywhere to the multinational. And I realized if I'm talking to a multinational or I'm talking to an independent, they're asking the CTO questions, and how am I making the CTO's life better, and how am I aligned with my CTO that is going to be implementing my software? And they're concerned about security, they're concerned about upgrades, backups, and so no one ever is worried about operational efficiency. They know O'Neill has that. They know we're committed to that. But it's now we're addressing each particular part of the department and realigning our product and our company with them. So realigning with the CTO means ISO SOC 2. Realigning with the CFO means there's no longer an upfront purchase price. It's subscription. If you like the software, you pay subscription. If you get in and a year later you want to switch, you didn't pay an upfront fee. And no CFO wants to see a big purchase price year one. So we realigned with him, and then we realigned with the CEO through Annex Marketplace, because that has to be a decision that's made by the CEO. Is how is he engaging customers online? How is he selling online? And so there's kind of been this realignment with them. And now is the time where we just brought our user conference back in September, which I did not name the O'Neill Partner Conference. Okay. I was told that was someone else's conference, but it's O'Neill Connect, because we really have to get good at communicating with our customers how we're making investments on their behalf, where technology is going, and where we're making investments, not just so that they will survive the AI apocalypse, but so that they're going to thrive. I don't want to survive it. I want to thrive through it. So.
Tell me, I think that's really interesting. Yeah. So I mean, conferences are a great way to get customer feedback, but also to be able to educate and share. So you mentioned the AI apocalypse. There's no doubt AI is a buzz around the show. People are talking about it. Tell me a little bit about how that's impacting you.
The first thing you need to do is history always repeats itself. This is the fourth industrial revolution. So study the third industrial revolution. What happened? Who came out ahead? Who was really impacted? There's a good book called Progress and Power that was written by the Nobel economics winner of last year. I met him when I was at MIT. I got him to sign my book, so I had to read the whole book.
Very nice.
Right?
You've got to read it then.
Even at MIT, they were like, we don't normally have Nobel Prize winners walking around, guys, just so you know.
Yeah.
So you can look at you can look at the third industrial revolution. Also look at how tech has progressed over the last 200 years. It's always been the same pattern. There's an article in Colossus called AI Will Not Make You a Millionaire. Check it out. AI Will Not Make You a Millionaire, Colossus. And it talks about over the last 200 years, technology has always progressed in a 50-year pattern. So you look at the 50-year pattern of the car. Very innovative thing, changed all of our life. 1909 was the Model T. 1929 was the Great Depression, economic collapse. The golden age of cars is 1950s. And so you look at the dot-com, same 50-year thing, right? There was the dot-com, there was a dot-com bust, and then there was where it took off. And what happens and what will happen in AI is it might not be 50 years, it might be shorter, but there will be the initial investment, the boom. Everyone sees the speculative, there's the potential for this. There will be an economic collapse, and that will consolidate the players and the resources, and then AI will start paying off. So we're still in the DOS days of AI. It's like driving a Model T, and we can see the potential, but you're not Formula One yet, right? Yeah. It's going to take 50 years to get to Formula One.
Absolutely.
So when I'm investing in technology, and specifically to benefit my customers, you have to first study history and say, how has innovation progressed? What can I expect from this? And then if you look at that article, it talks about shipping containers and the effect that shipping containers had, and who got wealthy off of shipping containers and who didn't. And it wasn't the people who invented shipping containers. It was the people moving merchandise. And so, there's nothing new. This is just the new thing. After this, there's going to be quantum, right? Everyone's saying in 10 years, the hype will be about quantum computing. It won't, AI will be, moving along. But I don't think that there will be a economic collapse. I think I'm a big also student on Jevons paradox, where it says when technology makes a service more efficient, more people utilize it more often.
Yep.
So what you're going to see with technology companies is there's going to be that phase of learning how to ride a bike again and recentering your company back on the consumer. And then you're going to see the companies who have great ideas are going to be able to build those faster. The companies who their business is about cutting expenses, they're going to use AI to cut expenses, which means they're probably going to die off over time. But nothing. There's nothing new, and so I think you have to go back to the fundamentals. And at the end of the day, I think the biggest lie on AI is that it will replace your people. And when I spoke here last year, I said the number one thing will not change is your people will always be your greatest asset. And so don't get caught up in the hype. And what I do is when I get the opportunity to acquire great people, that's the best thing I can do.
Absolutely.
And so you look at the Annex team, Jeff, Dan, these guys, if I can acquire a rock star, I jump right on it, right? And people buy from people, and a company is made up of its people. So don't work from home, and don't think that your staff is going away. Double down on quality and keep focused. And the hardest thing right now, I think, with the AI thing is for business leaders to keep focused and make investments when the world is all changing around you. But if you're going to be a leader, being a leader means you do the math, you look around, you have a vision for how you're going to benefit your customers, and you move forward. And I mean, I feel like when I came into O'Neill, my first day at O'Neill, I was driving into Irvine in my pickup truck. There was a forest fire because I'm in California. There was Highway to Hell on the radio. Literally. So my cab is full of smoke.
2 messages for you.
I get into the office. It's a little smoky. And I look up on the board, and there was 8 record centers that had been sold that month and that we were pulling off our software. And I said, is this normal? And they said, yes. And yeah, like pre-COVID, acquisitions were going wild.
Crazy.
And I said, okay, well, that's one problem to fix. Okay, what's another problem to fix, right? And, I feel like for the last 6 years, it's been like running into a burning fire. And I don't anticipate that will change. I think that you've got technology and all this, but as you realign your product and your services with your customer, you create less chaos, but it's an opportunity for each one of us to become a leader and to become a leader to our customers. And I think that always starts with doubling down on why did my customer choose me? How do I make my customer happy? And don't pivot and stay really focused on that one thing and creating quality and value.
And I really love the comment about people because, I constantly hear again about AI will replace people. There are certain roles, but those people are talented. They will, I'm sure they will do other things. But it's really about, the old classic 10Xing what people can do.
Yeah. When I was at MIT, everyone's talking about, oh, well, in this class, no one wants to, be that brutal. And I said, honestly, if you're telling me that take my job resume, look at the tasks, and replace each task with AI, and if I have an employee who's coming in and they're just checking off the boxes and they leave at 5:00 and they're just doing tasks, that's a B player. They shouldn't be on your team at all. You need to have A players, and if you're going to be competitive, you need to work your team, and anyone who can be replaced by AI should be replaced by AI, not because of AI, but because they're not really bringing some value. Like I expect that my employees are going to anticipate my needs. I am always telling people that my job is to make other people successful, and I ask that when there's a conflict and something goes wrong, the first thing I ask myself is, did I give that employee what they need to be successful? If I did, then I'm going to say, well, why weren't you successful? If I didn't give them what they need to be successful, then it's on me. And I train them that way because I want them to view me like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, if you're concerned about losing your job, you might not be in the right seat. You have to really look at it, and you really I don't think it actually fundamentally changes the job. A players are always A players. B players are always not going to give you the same return. Yeah.
But you want to encourage those A players to use AI, start to use it within the business. I think it's a big behavioral change. It's not a technology change as such to me. It's a behavioral change. How have you been doing that within O'Neill and Annex? So that other people, if they haven't really started on that road yet, what would be some good ideas to share with them?
The first thing is leading by example. So that was one of the reasons I did that course at MIT, is it set an example for everyone else. And then I literally tell everyone else, if you want to go, if you see me go there, then I actually expect that at some point you're going to say, hey, Aaron, I want to take a course over here, or I want to do this. I'm setting that example that we have to be learning all of the time. And if you want to innovate, you have to experiment with things. You have to go out, see what other people are doing. You have to look at what's successful. And because part of building the future is it doesn't exist yet. No one's seen it. You have to find that vision, and you have to be comfortable being misunderstood, and you have to be comfortable hearing no, and you have to be comfortable with failure. Look at Dotson. How many times did he fail at the his vacuum cleaner? And he just kept after it. And I love Bezos, where Bezos says, business is not like baseball. If you've got a good baseball player, he hits it out of the park once, that's 3 home runs. Business, you hit it out of the park, it could be 1,000 points, it could be 2,000 points. So I think the bigger change is that everyone should be looking at saying, how do we become a tech company? And becoming a tech company does not mean you learn how to code. AI is going to take care of coding. Learning to be a tech company is all about the culture and saying of experimentation, of playing for the long haul, of understanding that tech is not a net zero, I win, you lose game. As long as you're solving customers' problems, there's room for everyone. And so, becoming a tech company means don't build something that someone else is already building. If you're second to the market, you're not likely to overcome that first player. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very difficult. So do the R&D, do the research, bet on yourself, bet on your own team, create something new, and know that it's going to take you 10 years at best. But that's what it means to become a tech. It's all about culture, and it's all about people. It's not actually about ones and zeros and this and that. But those are just things that help you accomplish something.
And again, I like that. There's the concept of putting AI into the product, and there's the concept of AI being part of what you do it, and one of the I hate the word tools, but one of the things that you can bring to your disposal. My interesting one at the moment, I keep watching, is Apple. Everyone said Apple was late, very late to the game, and now they're starting to look like they might be in the absolute perfect position as the platform for the delivery of AI.
Tim Cook is.
We've all got the phones. Yeah.
Tim Cook is just brilliant. You look at what he's done, but Silicon Valley, they understand that 50-year cycle. And so they understand there is going to be some consolidation. And I look at it and I think, I honestly think Elon will win AI because Elon understands power. He's building his own chips now, but AI is so much dependent upon power. So I went to the data center conference last year and just learned about data centers for a few days. And I said, I'm going to take a year and try and learn what CTOs are hearing. Right, because that's one of my customers is my CTO, and AI is all about, you've got power, you have chips, you have this entire ecosystem. It's not just code and algorithms; it's also data, quality of data. And when you look at that, and then how painful it is not just to build software but to test it and deploy it, AI is going to take a long amount of time, and so I do believe that regardless of if you bring AI into your product, you have to bring your company into alignment with AI and with culture. And so that's where I'm going to focus, is more onto alignment and to systems and structure, and saying I actually believe you look at our industry and a new industry arises about every 10 to 15 years. You had records management, then you had shredding, then you had ITAD. AI is going to disrupt businesses and how they function, and it will create more industries faster than we've ever anticipated. So for me, what that means is continuous deployment, secure environment, my systems. If a new industry came up today, am I ready to jump on that, right? Are my customers ready to jump on that? So when I look at hosted is when you come into our hosted environment, it's about security and architecture because how you're connecting things and upgrades and all that. You're now future-proof. But we're moving our software towards continuous deployment where the upgrades once a year or twice a year, your system's down for 5 hours, is going away. It will be, we hear something from a customer, we investigate it, we write it, we test it, it goes out to every cloud customer overnight. There's no downtime, right? And so that makes us able to jump on that next opportunity. And so, the benefits of cloud are, for a business, are about agility and security and being future-proof. It's not about replacing your IT guy, right? like your IT guy, his burden is about to get really, really big, and his budget's about to get bigger. Same thing with e-commerce. When you look at Annex, coming into alignment with how people are spending money, we saw on a slide yesterday that Domino's, 85% of their business comes through online ordering. 85%. You talk to a restaurant, and DoorDash and Uber Eats will raise their sales by 15 to 30%. And consumer preference is online ordering. So how are we doing that? And then, to elaborate on that, I read a statistic that said 83% of all e-commerce happens in a marketplace. So when I looked at bringing e-commerce into the industry, if I wrote it for a single record center, they have to worry about their customers seeing that pricing versus higher legacy pricing potentially. They have to worry about that. They also have to drive traffic, and then they also have to convert the customer. That's a lot of friction. If I build a marketplace, that's consumer preference. A marketplace will always close more deals quicker than your own website portal. So e-commerce and connecting with a customer online, it's not an engineering problem; it's a conversion problem, and it should be viewed as part of your operational efficiency. How does someone discover you, engage you, and get that 5-star review is all operations, and so. That's a lot of what I'm actually currently obsessed with over the last 3 or 4 years is
client acquisition, client engagement, and client retention.
Yeah, and it goes back into the Jevons paradox is you remove all the friction to working with a company and more people are going to work with you more often. You don't need to have a 25% discount on your online sales. You don't need that. What you need to do is remove the friction because Gen Z, kids coming out of college, they're 22 years old, they'll pay $40 to have their burrito delivered. Right now, they have the boss's credit card. What are they going to have 100 boxes picked up? They value services. They value the convenience. They want ease, but they won't stand in line. They won't do a sales call. They will not negotiate.
Yeah.
They buy their car through Caravana. Culture has shifted. Our industry, we're pulling it that way. But I think that's the big thing to understand is to do that change. It's a complete architectural change, and it's something where. We should be sitting down with every CEO that we work with and talking to them about bringing their business into alignment with the current consumer. And if you get them at 22, you have them for the 40 years of their career, and saying. But to do that, it's a technology change, it's a infrastructure change, and we have a very clear path to making it very easy for you as a company to be able to do that. But I'm currently trying to sit down with more of my CEOs and say, this is where we're going. And
so on the first part of that, obviously is with the marketplace is making that the awareness to get that client acquisition. What are you doing around that?
It's been, any marketplace, typical marketplace takes 3 years to build, right? So we've spent a lot of time preparing our software. We spent the last 5-6 years preparing our software, preparing our infrastructure for it. We launched it last year officially.
It's early, absolutely.
It's looking really good now, and we have 120 providers on it right now. And so, when you build a marketplace, you get supply on, you then get all the shopping, everything working out. Supply looking good. Then you start driving traffic to it.
Find demand.
So, we haven't started driving demand. We have had sales where someone comes, purchases without talking to us, but we've been more focused on talking to our customers and letting them understand that the benefits to them and saying nothing's really changing. We're just this is how we're addressing clients. And I love from the design of the contract to the design of the software and where data is held. Think of Annex as a trust layer. It's going to gain the trust of the customer, but the data is held within the O'Neill system. The customer is owned by the O'Neill customer as much as possible, all that. We're just helping you gain that trust. And so a lot of the actual hurdles that we've had with Annex has been people's bad experiences with like the NRC or with Shred Nations. They think that we're going to try and own the contract, or we're going to own the relationship, or that we're going to manipulate something. Allegedly, that's what I hear from people. But that's my part of getting really passionate and saying no. Like, it's kind of like the song "Hold On Loosely, but Don't Let Go." We're just holding on very loose to the thing, but it's all about promoting your business and encouraging your discovery. So like even the name Annex, I picked that because I wanted to say annex your boxes with Joe's Record Centers, or Joe's Record Center is your Annex. Everything from the messaging to the contract to the architecture strengthens your relationship with the customer, strengthens your brand, and helps promote you. Even, everyone sets their own price, and then our price is, inflates that. Mm-hmm. And that's all part of strengthening your brand and your positioning, and not trying to control the relationship or.
I think it's great to help people understand that you've really been working on the supply side at the moment, and the demand is coming. You know, so that's and probably a great conversation to have at the upcoming conference.
Yeah, and you have like, our focus is on making our customers successful selling online. I always say, like, they'd say in tech about disruption. That's on TV shows. That's on, LinkedIn. That's not actually how technology companies function. You get paid by optimizing, not by disrupting. We don't want to disrupt anybody. We don't want to disrupt anyone's business. What we want to do is optimize how their current business works. So bring it into alignment, bringing your business and the industry into alignment with the current consumer. And what is really fascinating is what's going to happen is like with Uber. I never thought about a taxi company before Uber, right? Yeah. But because of Uber, even if I take another taxi company, the industry is still promoted even because Uber exists. Yep. And because Annex exists, I believe even if you're not utilizing it, the industry will be promoted and more people will benefit. But the real challenge has been to create a solution that optimizes how a current business works and prevents any disruption, right? Because I don't like disruptive people. I like successful people, kind of thing. And so, yeah.
Okay. Well, as we come to a close, we've been chatting a long time. I kind of knew we would because it's an interesting conversation. But I got to ask the one last difficult question before my next podcast, which is, what's the best off-road motorcycle?
What's the what?
Best off-road motorcycle.
Oh man. The one you have. Just ride what you got, man. Just and I actually just got a 2005 KLR 650. And
a workhorse.
It's the dorkiest motorcycle on the road. Cost $2,000. I came out to California on a KLR. I rode it for like 8 years. It is known as top heavy, ugly, slow, putter. There's all these jokes about it. But it's maintenance free. You get out there, you ride. It's fun. You don't worry about dropping it. You don't want to get out on the road and worry about dropping an expensive motorcycle, so you don't try something like.
So no friction.
No friction. Have fun. And same thing with honestly, I think that's kind of the same thing with business and with work is you want to do something you love. You want to do something you're proud of. You want to build something that creates value for people. Don't get scared about getting hurt or messing up. You can get hurt on a motorcycle and still recover, and you can get hurt in life or in business, but you got to have the boldness to move forward, and you got to have the confidence to do that and ride and just rip that throttle and don't be an idiot, right? But and don't tell your wife sometimes, but no, great question.
Aaron, thank you so much. It's always fun chatting with you, and I hope the show goes well, the rest of the show, and good luck with the awards this evening.
Thanks. Likewise, Ian.
Take care.